This is Bayvel 6, and we're here with Bush League. Can you guys say your name and your role in the band?
My name's Adrian. I'm the guitarist and backup vocals.
Reese, I sing.
Dick, I'm the bass player and one of the lyricists.
So nice to meet you guys. So when did you guys start playing together?
Shit. I think it was like 2 years ago. It started with just me and the other guitarist who isn't here right now, Christian Dipko, and my best friend, the drummer, Vinny. Started 2 years ago-ish. It was the three of us. And then we were like, we're trying to do this as like a real thing. And then we started searching through Reddit. We found Rich, I think, a year after.
You found me February 2020, and then you auditioned for me.
That's what it was, yeah. And then we auditioned Reese. We had a couple vocalists that we were auditioning before that. I think that was in October.
Yep, October
2020, yeah. And then since then, we've just been grinding it.
So what drew you to start a group? Was it more one person or more of a group decision?
I think it was more a group thing. Like he said, it was the three of them that really started, but once they brought Dick on and they brought me, the singer, on, I think we really started to click. And once we started to click and realized we had some talent behind us and had some good songs, so we just started getting gigs wherever we could and started recording.
Yeah.
So once you start recording, I mean, that's when it really takes off. So
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. So who are some of your inspirations musically or non-musically?
let's go. You want to do two each?
2 weeks. He's
All right.
You got
Oh
it.
shit! I just put the pressure on myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're pop punk, obviously. We like pop punk of all sorts. But some of the bands that I listen to a lot, I mean, I think a lot of us will probably say this too. I'm a big Knuckle Puck fan. I love Knuckle Puck. I love the story so far, and I'll even throw a third one in there. I mean, I don't got the voice like her, but I'm a big Paramore fan too. So those are my three influences.
We all want that voice.
Yeah. It's kind of a loaded question because, like, there's different influences. What started me playing guitar, what wanted me to, like, start doing music as a band. Exactly. So what started me, like, wanting to play guitar was two people in particular. It was the guitarist for Sum 41. Can't remember his name for the life of me. Him and the guitarist for Avenged Sevenfold, Sinister Gates, which I do remember because I love him to death. And the bands that really wanted me to make music was A Day to Remember and Blink-182. And then over the years, like, the newer, like, pop punk revival, those bands like solidified that shit, and I was like, we need to do this. I need to do this, yeah.
And then this guy's got some different influences.
Yeah, personally, I think as far as bass and lyrics go, I'd have to say Arif Mir Abdulbagi from Protest the Hero, their first couple albums, and then more recently with like pop punk and like just kind of modern stuff, I'd have to go with Mike Lissard of The Contortionist. Really solid lyricist, really amazing vocalist, and their sound has inspired me tremendously in the past couple of years.
Very interesting, different influences.
Sure.
So how would you describe your music? Do you have a certain style?
I think we're still trying to figure that out ourselves. So, like, we identify, I guess, as a pop punk band, but we have so many different influences. Some of us who are, like, into R&B, we try to, like, grab from some of those influences. A little bit of post-hardcore, a little bit of emo, definitely some pop punk. So it's kind of hard. We haven't nailed down what our sound is yet, so we're still trying to figure that out. I don't know if you have a different answer than I
And
do.
not to steal, I mean, I don't know if you're going to ask this next or whatever, but to speak to our band name a little bit, I mean, our band name is Bush League. It's all of our, at least first or second time in a band. We're all pretty amateur, and we all just kind of felt like, we were all doing different things at one point in our life, and we just wanted to try something else. And whether we're amateurs or not, we all knew we loved music, so we write a lot about, finding out what you want to do, figuring life out, and just kind of taking it day by day. And, personally, I quit my corporate job for this, so I wanted to be in a band. I always wanted to, and finally decided to take that move. And so I think our style kind of reflects a lot of that, and our lyrics reflect a lot of that stuff, too.
Very interesting. So how did you guys meet initially?
Again,
I
high
grew
school
up.
for them.
Yeah, I grew up with the drummer, so we've been friends since like middle school. And he went to high school with our guitarist Christian, and then we've all been kind of hanging out, kind of doing like band stuff for a long time, since probably middle school. And then we met these two guys on Reddit.
Reddit. I was working my corporate job. Looking at Reddit every day to try to find a band that wanted a vocalist, and sure enough, found Bush League who needed a vocalist.
The stars aligned.
Yeah.
So can you talk about your songwriting process a little bit?
Sure. I mean, I'll start, but I know they both have.
It's kind of hilarious
Input
that we
too.
ask ourselves this.
We're
Every once in a
always
while.
talking about this. We've done this question before,
Yeah,
and like
go
we all have our own style, obviously, and influences. But in general, the songwriting definitely starts with some of our guitarist and drummer. Between them two, him, Christian, and Dipko, our other guitarist, and then Vinny. Usually one of them has some kind of idea, but not to count out Dick either. I mean, really all of us. We all just kind of have an idea. We use a bunch of different programs. We've all had to learn different programs to adapt to each other. Guitar Pro, Ableton, what's the one that Reaper.
Yeah.
So I think one of us comes up with some kind of riff, some kind of melody, some kind of lyrics, some kind of idea, and then the others just build around it. And then we practice once a week, and we get together and just kind of jam it out and try to find some other sounds that match it. I'm the vocalist, so I'm writing lyrics and trying to find the melody that fits over the song. But that was the easy part about joining the band, at least, was they had a bunch of songs that they had written. I joined, and it was super easy, especially, again, first time in a band for me. So it was easy to find a band that had music, and I just was able to listen to it and kind of write over it. So,
That's awesome.
I don't know if these guys have any others, but
That was exactly it. I think a lot of it does start with our drummer and guitarist, Christian. They are always pumping out stuff on Guitar Pro. So they're always sending like little samples or snippets of either like full songs, like solid foundations, and then we all start gutting it, kind of putting our own flavor and taste into it. That's pretty much how almost every song has come about so far.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great to know as much as you can on the production end.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite memory from a show that you played?
I mean, it's hard not to say. We played at the Stone Pony a couple times this summer. Our most
that's a
recent
big
gig
one.
there was opening for the band The Offspring.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that anything beats that at this point. Just to grow up and listen to different pop punk, and even if The Offspring wasn't like my favorite band ever, but like I knew them as The Offspring, and they were this huge band. So
Yeah.
just to be able to open for a band like that. But outside of that too, I mean, beyond the big names and everything, we've played at a bunch of cool spots, and I'm learning now, like, being in a band is more than just like, getting popular and like just meeting all these other cool bands and getting to know all these other special bands. So I would definitely say opening for The Offspring at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park. But even our first show ever too, my first show ever singing to anyone, we drove up to Long Island. So like even going up there, like we drove 4 hours up there through New York's Connecticut traffic to get there and to play at the Velvet Lounge. That was a special memory too. It's hard to count out the first time too. That's mine.
With my boy Max Peters, yeah, that was a great time.
I would say the same for The Offspring too.
Right.
Honestly,
It's hard
yeah. It's hard to beat that.
bro.
Okay.
We have a
Talk
short
about that
history.
rest then.
It's not like we really have played a shit ton of shows, because I mean, we got the bulk of our shows within the last year. Like right after COVID, obviously, kind of settled down and like everything was opening up and this and that. So that's where a bulk of our shows came. So before that, we only had like 2 or 3 shows under our belt, like if that. Yeah. So it wasn't anything crazy. So yeah, I would say The Offspring is probably my favorite memory so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do outside of music?
I guess I just also quit my job like a month ago, so I'm not doing jack shit.
So we've got a common pattern.
Exactly, yeah. I'm just taking it day by day. I don't know what I'm gonna do besides music so far. I have ideas, but I ain't doing shit right now.
I do ever since I quit my job to do this kind of stuff. I'm trying to do what I love. I'm trying to have fun in life. Sing in a band. I coach wrestling. I'm probably gonna start teaching soon. I bartend and serve in the summer, so I kind of do a little bit of everything. I'm just trying to enjoy my life.
That's awesome. Good to have hobbies.
And it's a bold assumption to assume I have a life outside of music and work, because the only other thing I do besides music is work. Yeah, I fill in for a couple other bands. People have asked me to play bass for them, but aside from that, it's pretty much Bush League and work.
So your latest song, can you tell us the name of it and what's it about?
Which one are we talking about?
Latest song?
Definitely your biggest fan.
I'll talk about your
Crabs
biggest
is
fan.
coming out
You
at the end of the
mentioned
month.
Creatures.
Or well, not Crabs.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh.
So we have a song that was just released. It's called Your Biggest Fan. Again, another example of the band, the drummer in this case, I think started it, right? Vinny started
definitely.
what we called Marvin at the time. He came up with the groove and the riff for it, and writing this song at least. Again, it's called Your Biggest Fan, and one of the lines in the song is "You gotta be your biggest fan." And I wrote the song I forget exactly when it was, but it was one day when I was hanging out with my friends or a group of people that maybe I was friendly with, acquaintances with, and I didn't feel like they really believed in me. Like, obviously I quit my job for this, so like it's for anyone out there who's trying to do something in life and kind of feels like everyone around them is not very confident in them, and it's just about going against that grain and just doing it anyway and believing in yourself and being your biggest fan.
Preach.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So make sure you stream that one. But we got another one coming out soon called Concrete Creatures. I don't know if...
I think at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
End of this month of June. Yeah.
Yeah, we got another song coming out
Concrete
just because I
Creatures.
wrote it. It's about being out and about and, mingling with all the concrete creatures out there. I'm not going to talk too much to it, but just being out in public and trying to fit in and, have a good time. So.
Yeah, keep the suspense going.
Yeah.
Okay, so final question. What advice would you give to upcoming musicians?
Good one.
Or what's the best advice you've ever been given?
It's
That's a good question too. Yeah.
It's hard because, as a band, obviously you gotta read the market and you gotta see what everyone else is doing and you gotta figure out how to thrive as a band. But at the same time, the thing that I've tried to live by personally, at least, is the reason I joined a band was because it's what I want to do. It makes me happy. I like writing music. I like jamming out on stage. So I would tell anyone who's trying to be a band and trying to start as a musician, just be yourself. I know it's cliche a little bit, but don't try too hard to be what everyone else wants you to be. Be what you want to be. Be what you like to listen to. Make the music that you would put on in your car, and just make whatever hits you in the heart, in the brain, whatever. Don't try too hard to live up to everyone else's expectations.
Yeah. To add to that, especially, aside from being if you're a solo artist, but if you're also in a band, like a lot of it's teamwork. Make sure the people you are with, if they're great people, appreciate them, do them as best as you can with them. Support each other, support everyone, because the hardest part of being in a band is like 10% of it is the music itself. It's being able to get together,
Yep.
make big decisions. You're going to get annoyed at each other once in a while.
Yep.
Even if you're a solo artist, whoever you're working with, just make sure you're surrounded by good people and support each other.
Yeah, be open-minded.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
I guess I take a different tack with that. For me, it's all about just continuously putting in the work. Just got to practice until you get it perfect. Then keep practicing, and then when you're writing, even if you're not necessarily inspired, you just have to keep going at it again and again and again, because you're gonna keep making mistakes, and failure is part of the process, right? Like, you can't train your way out of failure, because in order to train properly, you have to hit a point of failure, and then once you hit that, you just got to keep on training. And like, I guess for my take, I've been on bass for 11 years at this point. I've been playing music my whole life. So it's a lot about just, okay, cool, starting to learn bass with a broken hand. I get to use 3 fingers. How can I use those to my best advantage? Once I can use my 4th again, how can I use that? And it's just all about learning the board, learning all the different sounds I can make, and then finding what inspires me and then applying that to my practice. So a lot of it is just trial, error, and just keeping at it constantly.
Sure.
Wise words. Wise words.
Wise words.
Yeah.
I'm never going to
Trademark
wiser
it.
words.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Dan.
for having us.
Thank you, Verse, for
And-
Thank you.
helping
Yes.
put on this show. It's been a great experience so
Yeah,
far. And
I
we
think
Thanks
so.
to GKM for having the show.
Absolutely.
100%.
We hope to
Yes.
come back next year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great experience.
And we're out.